Welcome to Interesting Scale Models. I'm your host, Jason, and I do models and apparently electronics. What's that about? Wow, that's awesome. Let's take a look at just this randomness that I have going on here. I have a doctor's appointment today, so I don't have a whole lot of time, but we are going to go over. This is pretty cool. So, I'm going to be working on these Nintendo Switches coming up, and I have two here that I'm in the process of. Videos are coming out Monday of this week, and my wife had originally got me these cheap dollar store containers. They're quite not big enough for what I have in there, but they do work, but the lid pops off a lot. And then she went to the Walmart and found these in the clearance aisle for $1. And they have a compartment down here, and then they have a compartment up here. So I am going to try to come up with a way to use these to store the switches I'm working on, because I like the fact that down here I can, let's move the circuit board out of the way, I can put down my protective coating, or my microfiber protection to protect my digitizers. This one's going to be replaced anyways if I'm going to refurbish it. It's got my little check-in sheet. Now, my little box of screws and containers and stuff won't fit on there, but I have an idea about that. So then I can close it, it's all in there, and then I can come up here and I can put my circuit board in there. And then also I can put in these different modules like the fan, the memory right there, and the SD card, that can all fit, in the top there. I could even put another microfiber cloth down to keep it from banging around, and that's not bad storage. And then what I have left is the screws here. So a lot of these screws are the same size screws, so I don't really need to keep them too separated. I could put them in a little storage case here. Do I have a little storage case? I do have a little storage case. Boom, right here. I have one of these little storage cases. Let's see if that fits in the side over here. Yes, it does. Look at that. So I have a few of these. I can just dump this out right over here, because I'm not going to use it for that. And then we can put in here, if I can find my tweezers. This is what happens when you're super busy. So I can put in here, I can do the back cover screws in this one, and I can also do the fan screws in this one, because they're so different you can tell them apart. Now the top screws and the bottom screws and the motherboard screws have to be separated because they're two different sizes. So we'll keep those one distance apart there. So then we have one spot left. We need to put the rails. Let's put all these shield screws for the heat sink and the back shield, and then also these are also some other screws too. So I believe these are the same size screws that are in the headphone screws, so we'll put those in there. I had them all separated in this larger one, and then we have left the side rail screws. They can go with the top and bottom screws, like so. I only have two of them in there. And then the game card screw can go with the motherboard screws. And that's all the screws for the Switch in a 4-compartment little dish here. And then I can come in here and label them. If I can get these labels off. And I know for a fact I have a couple more of these containers that I can use for check-ins of other switches. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. So I am going to get out my label maker. I don't know if you guys seen this label maker. This is my Dynamo label maker here. I'm going to clear it out. It's using currently 1/2-inch black flexible nylon tape. And in this first compartment we have back cover and fan. So we'll print that and see what it looks like. Cut it off. We got a little back cover and fan. So that's that. And then we have, on the next one, we have top, bottom, and rails. Print that one. And then on this one we have our, let's clear that out. We have our shields. Both our shields, our back shield and our heat shield. We have our USB screws, and we have our headphones. Head. I think that's going to be too much. Let's see if it's too much. I might have to shrink down headphones. Nope, it's going to fit. Okay, and then the last one is our motherboard screws. So, and I think game card. I'll put game card. So let's clear that out, and let's go with OT other board and game card. And I spelled game wrong. Game card. And I forgot the C. Wow. Okay. So we'll print that and see what that looks like. Now, if I was smart, I would have printed 2 sets of these, so I don't have to do it again for the next one. But, you know, I didn't, so that's that. So we have the little labels made, so I'm just going to turn that off, and I will print more of these later. For the second one, I just wanted to do a test. Now, these are a little bit long, so I'm going to trim them down here. To where they're going to fit on here. Like so. Let's come in here. And we're going to get this all. So, you guys, let me know in the comments what you think about me doing this. on camera. Like I said, I was buying broken switches that worked that had bad screens, and I was switching the screens and stuff. But the profit margin on that was not very good. I wouldn't make very much, and then I started researching, doing these board repairs, and it seems like if you can get one for between 80 and 100 or up to like $125, and it just needs a few, $5 or $6 chips. Um, you can make a decent amount of profit. So, we're gonna try this out here, and I'm gonna do it, live on the channel. I've already got some of it done. Already made many mistakes, but that is going to be my little storage. I got my check-in sheet. I have the console. This is, already been taken apart, but I clipped it back together so so it just fit nicer in that other container, but I'll have more room in this to do things. I can also, I had taken out their battery, so I can put the battery that came with it back into here. This is the battery it came with. Now, another thing that I want to talk about in this after, I just talked about that. So, I also have this magnetic strip I was going to use to put screws on, but I'm not sure about that. So, I got that. Let me grab this battery out of here. We grab this battery here and this Joy-Con battery that's in here, and let me talk to you about a few things. Now, I have my test equipment. I can put that on the screen. I have this test equipment. As you can see, I have a SDL 1020XE singlet electronic load, and also the SPD 3303XE singlet power supply. And what I've done in the past with that test equipment is, I've simulated a load. I've simulated a battery, and I've simulated a load on like a current and stuff. So I can simulate a battery, and I did it in this power unit here for the traffic light project, where I've taken this unit here that is made to charge lithium batteries, and I plugged it into my power supply, and I simulated a battery, with a certain amount of power level and things like that, and then I've also hooked it to the electronic load in the same manner and plugged a charger into it and simulated, what a battery would take and how much current could a battery take before it shut down the charging circuit and things like that. And I do that in a video, and it's probably already up on the channel. I'm not 100% sure. But what I want to do is I want to take a bad battery. Now, this battery, to my knowledge, isn't bad. I'm going to find out 100% sure. But it's not a Nintendo OEM battery. It's just a cheap knockoff, so I don't know how good it is. But this is the point of this. I want to devise a way to test these and charge these and simulate these batteries outside of a switch. The first thing I want to do is I want to take a bad battery and cut these leads off, and then make a harness that plugs into my power supply that I can plug into a switch and simulate a battery at different levels. So that is my that is one of my goals, to simulate what a switch battery acts like. So I want to do that, but in order to do that, I need this connector and these wires. So I want to have a bad battery. Now, when it comes to doing that, I can't just hook power plus and minus up to the power supply and plug it into the switchboard. this has a communication line that goes from this circuit board that is on this battery that monitors the battery, and that circuit board sends a signal that lets the battery know that it's okay, it's charged, how much juice it has. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure that that signal needs to be present in order for the switch to work properly. So I say that I need this cable to hook up to my power supply, but not only that, I need the this circuit board in here. So I need to disassemble the battery very carefully because it is a lithium-ion battery, and I would discharge it completely first. Pull out this circuit board, desolder the battery from the circuit board, and then hook up my test leads like I did in this fashion to that circuit board, so it would be connected like this to that little circuit board, and then I could use this connector to simulate a battery for a switch. So that is a goal in the future. I was hoping that I would buy one of these broken switches and it would have a bad battery, but I could get a cheap knockoff battery and scrap it for $10, but I'm weird about scrapping good things. If it comes down to it, I'll scrap this cheap knockoff if I find out that it's good. I will do that. And then also I want to do the same thing for a Joy-Con battery. I want to make a connector that I can plug this into so I can test it for capacity and also recharge it. This will be a little bit simpler. It should have a protection circuit on it, so I could just charge it from the power supply directly or use one of my battery charging circuits. So the Joy-Con battery is not that much, because if I refurbish a set of Joy-Cons, I want to make sure that the battery I'm putting out is still good and has a decent capacity and doesn't have any issues of discharging too quickly or not fully charging or low capacity issues. Now, the switch battery is going to be more complicated because of the control line, but I also need if I can open this, I also need one of these connectors here. Can you see it better on this side? No, probably not, because that camera's probably not going to focus. Yeah, so I'll show it to you on this one. This battery connector right here, I need one of these connectors to connect to this battery to put a load on it. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to get around that. I'm trying to find just the motherboards as a donor board. I found a lot of 2 motherboards that were donor boards for $75, but I didn't know if that was a good price to pay. And it didn't really say, it just said as is, so I'm not sure if what problems they had. So I was hesitant to get that, and now they're not there anymore, and I wish I did. But I'm going to look to get a donor board, or if I come across one that I can't fix and it becomes a donor board, I am going to scavenge this connector off of here by simply slicing the circuit board off and exposing the traces and soldering to them so I can connect my load to it and then plug in the battery and actually get a test on the battery. And then also I can hook the oscilloscope up to this middle wire and see the signal and possibly decode the signal. So, and the issues that this board's giving me, this may become a donor board. You never know, that may become a donor. So we'll have to see how that goes. So that is where I'm heading on this. Like I said, it may happen with this cheapy battery here that doesn't have an Nintendo battery, because I get these batteries here. This is my test battery, but I also have replacements. This is my test battery. But see, this is a Nintendo battery. It says Nintendo on it. It's an OEM battery. I pay like $11 for these. I know I can get the cheap ones way cheaper, but I feel more comfortable sending that in from a refurbishment standpoint. So that's my test battery. My test Joy-Con batteries are going to go there. So, but yeah, I want to start testing these for capacity to see how good they are and things like that. And then I have this little container that has a Joy-Con that needs to be cleaned in the ultrasonic cleaner. The ultrasonic cleaner I have has kicked the bucket, so I will be getting a new one of them soon and doing a unboxing and setup and review type thing on it. I also received a wrongly labeled set of thermal paste. This was supposed to be 4 10-gram tubes of thermal paste, and there's no way that this is 10 grams of thermal paste. So this is like, I would say this is 1 switch's worth of thermal paste, because you have this thermal paste on the top, and then when you put it back together, you have the thermal paste from the heatsink to the shield. I would say this is one thing, 1 switch each. So I have 5 switches worth of thermal paste here. So yeah, so I got ripped on that deal. I don't remember what the price was, but it definitely, maybe they're each 2 grams each, and it's a total of 10 grams. I'm not sure, but the way I read it, it was 10-gram tubes. But I know those eBay people are sneaky, and they will, trick you in their wording of their stuff. It was like $4.32, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm getting some MX4 for the actual CPUs. I want to use MX4 on that, and I'll use that on the heat sink to the shield. But I was going to do the ultrasound at the end of this video when it got here today when I got back, but I'm going to go ahead and end it here and do the ultrasound in a separate video. Thank you guys for watching. You can check me out on social media or visit me on Patreon. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic day. Hey guys, I'm back. I got the ultrasonic sensor done. I got my doctor done, so we're going to check this out. This is an iSonic digital ultrasonic unit here. It's not very expensive. It's not as nice as the one I had, but that one was unavailable, and it got destroyed by resin, which I will not put resin in this one. This one is going to be electronics only. Oh, look, it came with some jewelry cleaner. Not suitable for electronics, I would assume. So, we got a power cord. Let's get this box out of here. Come down here so I can sit down. So, let's see what we got here. We got this guy. Now, this one is going to fit everything that I need to fit in it. It's got that right there. And then, let's just test it with the switch circuit board. Yep, it's going to fit in there, and it's going to ultrasonically clean my switchboard, which I need it to do, and that's what it's for. And, the Joy-Cons and things like that. It's got a power on and off here switch, and it's got the plug-in thing, and it's got on-off time. Not much else. So, just got a lid. My last one had a UVC light. I did like that feature, but it wasn't available anymore, probably because it doesn't last very long. So let's see what we got here. See if I can find some power without knocking too many things all over the place. And I have power for it. And I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. So let me squeeze it by you, buddy. I'm down to my last 3 bottles of 99 alcohol, so I'm only going to put the bare minimum in here to turn this on and clean something. I don't use the Branson stuff, just no. So I'm going to put this in here, and we're going to test this with some Joy-Con parts, because that's what okay, that is above the minimum. It's going to need a little bit more than that. It's going to take the whole thing. So I need to get more of this stuff. So now I have 2 left. So we're going to take our power and plug it in here. And we're going to take our little box with our Joy-Cons in it, and that's not the part I want to clean. So I'm going to take this back panel here, and I am going to dunk it in there. We're going to turn it on. Let me see if I can turn it so you can see the front. It's set for 180, which is 3 minutes, and we can do 5 minutes, 8 minutes, minute 15. We'll do, or 10 minutes. I don't know what that means. Let's see what that means. Because it's lighting up a thing on there. So 180 is default normal cleaning. 3 minutes. So it just tells you different items here of what to use. Doesn't tell you what those different things are. Okay, so we're just going to turn it on here, and it is going to bubble. You'll hear it. It is ultrasonically cleaning, and we'll put the lid on it. And it's going to go, well, it's counting down. That's cool. Had it on there for 1.5 minutes. So hopefully this gets some flux residue off some stuff that I have flux residue on. And we will see how it works. This should have a heater on it. It did say it had a heater. So can't preheat it though. So that's one thing. So, alright, so that is going, and it's pretty good. Seems to be working. Is the water getting warm? Yeah, it's getting warm. So, might have to run a 3-minute cycle on it, you know, just to heat it up before I put the circuit board in there, so it's just a little bit warmer for it. But it's not a high-end ultrasonic cleaner. It'll do what it's going to do. It's going to go up there on my little area to be cleaning stuff. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. You can check out the links on social media and support me on Patreon. It is now stopped.